Most people walk toward their 30s with quiet confidence, smiling as if life will naturally arrange itself. What they don't see is that this decade is a psychological minefield, and almost no one hands you a map before you step into it. In your 20s, time feels endless. Days stretch out like a river that will never dry, and you assume there will always be another chance tomorrow, until one morning arrives when the river feels shallow and the sun already hangs low. You were told that your 20s were meant for finding yourself. But for many people, those years slowly dissolve into comfort, distraction, and endless experimentation that leads nowhere meaningful. The danger is not simply wasted time. The real cost appears years later, when opportunity has quietly passed and the mind begins to whisper painful questions about what could have been. Look closely at the bitter man at 40. His failure did not begin at 40. It began years earlier when he ignored the harsh truths that demanded attention while he was still young enough to change. Somewhere between 25 and 30, the world begins to expect more from you. The gap between who you are and who you should have become starts to widen, and that distance can feel terrifying. What you are about to hear are 7 brutal lessons. They are the difference between those who design their own future and those who wake up years later, trapped inside a life that keeps repeating itself. We all begin adulthood with the same quiet illusion, the belief that we are somehow special, that success will eventually arrive because deep down we feel we deserve it. During your early 20s, life often becomes a chase for moments that look impressive from the outside. Photos, parties, recognition from friends who are just as uncertain and lost as you are. Hours disappear into endless streams of cheap dopamine. You scroll through curated lives on glowing screens, admiring achievements that belong to someone else, while your own progress quietly stands still. There is a strange comfort in believing you still have plenty of time. That comfort feels warm and harmless, but it slowly lulls ambition into a deep sleep that becomes harder to wake from each year. Society reinforces the illusion. People tell you it is normal to be figuring things out, and sometimes that phrase becomes a polite disguise for procrastination and avoided responsibility. Yet somewhere beneath the noise, a quiet voice begins to whisper. It tells you that time is moving faster than you expected, and that the gap between intention and action is growing wider. Without realizing it, you become a product of habits you never consciously chose, living a routine shaped by expectations, distractions, and fears that were never truly yours. Slowly, something begins to shift. The jokes about adulting no longer feel amusing. They start to feel heavy, like a quiet pressure building in the center of your chest. You begin to notice certain people pulling ahead. The friends who once stood beside you at late-night gatherings have quietly stepped into a different world, one built on discipline, focus, and long hours of unseen work. Reality introduces a harsh rule that few people explain early enough. The world does not reward potential. It rewards proof, results, and skills that solve real problems. Even relationships begin to feel different. What once thrived on excitement and spontaneity now demands stability, direction, and a sense that you actually know where your life is going. With each passing year, opportunities that once seemed limitless start to narrow. Doors you assumed would always remain open begin to close without warning. Your body also starts sending signals. The nights without sleep, the careless habits, and the neglect that once felt harmless now begin to slow you down. And the pressure you feel is not truly coming from the outside world. It is the silent version of yourself, the person you could have become, urging you to wake up before time runs out. Eventually, the illusion cracks. It may arrive as a failed business, a mountain of debt, or the painful realization that at your job you are not unique, you are easily replaceable. You collide with a wall where your ego meets the cold indifference of reality. The world does not pause to comfort you. It simply keeps moving forward without explanation. In that moment, there is a silence that feels almost unbearable. The understanding slowly settles in that no one is coming to rescue you, not your parents, not your friends, not the system. Rock bottom is not a physical place. It is the sudden awareness that the person you have been is not strong enough for the life you claim you want. This is where the childlike belief begins to die. The quiet fantasy that life will eventually reward you simply for existing starts to dissolve. Distractions lose their power. The noise fades, and you are left standing alone with your reflection, forced to confront the truth without excuses. You begin to feel the weight of every hour wasted, every difficult conversation avoided, and every decision postponed, realizing that what you called freedom was actually a life without direction. In the ruins of your old identity, a choice appears. You can allow bitterness to take root, or you can accept total responsibility for the direction of your life. You begin to understand that 30 is not a finish line. It is a deadline, a moment that demands the boy within you step aside so the man capable of carrying weight can finally emerge. The shift starts quietly. Instead of asking why life seems unfair, you begin asking what each hardship is trying to teach you. Your focus moves toward the long game. You realize that anything meaningful, wealth, mastery, respect, sits on the far side of years of patient and disciplined effort. Your environment begins to change as well. You look closely at the people around you and recognize that growth becomes impossible when you stay surrounded by those who fear it. Attention turns inward. You begin working on the unseen battles, controlling your emotions, sharpening your focus, and confronting the ego that once sabotaged your progress. And slowly you stop chasing happiness as if it were the ultimate goal. Instead, you pursue competence, because true confidence only appears when you become genuinely capable. The first lesson is discipline. It is the quiet force that separates intention from action, because without discipline you are not free. You are simply reacting to moods, impulses, and the chaos around you. The second lesson is value. The world does not reward effort, kindness, or good intentions. It rewards solutions, skills, and the ability to create something that others genuinely need. The third lesson is proximity. Your environment shapes your ceiling, and if you remain the most driven person in your circle, you are standing in a room that will slowly limit your growth. The fourth lesson is time. In youth it feels generous and endless, but time behaves like a silent lender that will one day collect every borrowed hour with interest. The fifth lesson is emotional resilience. The person who can remain calm while others panic becomes the one others follow, because clarity under pressure is rare and powerful. The sixth lesson is financial intelligence. If you never learn how money moves, grows, and multiplies, you will spend your life exchanging time for survival. The seventh lesson is physical foundation. Your body carries every ambition you have, and when that foundation weakens, even the greatest plans eventually collapse. You emerge from this journey not as someone who simply survived difficult years, but as a person who understands how to shape his own path with intention and clarity. There is a quiet strength that comes from facing truths most people spend their lives avoiding. It is not loud, it is not flashy, but it creates a deep sense of peace within you. Success stops feeling like a distant destination. Instead, it becomes a natural consequence of the standards you hold and the discipline you practice every single day. These lessons were never designed to destroy you. Their real purpose was to shatter the illusions that once kept you comfortable, small, and unaware of your true potential. If you are still in your 20s, you possess a powerful advantage. You still have the freedom to experiment, to fail, and to rebuild stronger before the consequences become permanent. Take a moment to look honestly at your life. Ask yourself which of these lessons you have been avoiding, and what price you are quietly paying for ignoring it. Time continues to move whether you are ready or not. The door to your 30s is approaching, and the question now is simple: will you walk through it prepared or unprepared? If this message spoke to you, take a moment to tell us in the comments which lesson hit you the hardest. Don't forget to press the like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe to the channel Success Stories for more powerful insights that can transform your mindset and your future. Make sure you also activate the notification bell so you never miss the next story. Thank you for watching all the way until the end. Your support truly means a lot.